Hey everybody, this is Rydo and we are back to Titan Souls. So, we beat the boss last time, and now we just have the final secret boss, the truth. Now, I know already that there are 3 phases to this boss, so I'm not sure if that means I'm gonna have to get lucky 3 times in a row, or maybe I have to get lucky once and then when I die it will respawn me back to the beginning of that particular stage. That certainly could add a level of difficulty that certainly would be a problem. And on top of that, I also kind of feel like I've only succeeded in this game at least 50% by lucky shots. It's really hard to make the argument in my mind that I succeeded on my own skill. I think I just got lucky. That's what it feels like. Even if it was 100% skill, I am not sure if at the end of the day I could ever prove it or would ever feel that way. So here we are, the truth. Everything looks a little different, and we're fighting rings that are going perpendicular, and apparently I can't hit it until it stops spinning. We're trying to hit the eye there. So there's the old language getting translated into the new language. Notice I am just black here in a white room. This is heavily inspired by Full Metal Alchemist. Undoubtedly. Well, that's gonna kill me. Because one goes horizontally and one goes vertically, I guess it's somewhat predictable. It is doing a little bit of a better job at checkpointing me, I would say. I don't think there's a way out of this either, though. Like, maybe I could simply just quit the game, and then if I loaded back in, I would be out of this fight. But there's no reason to really do that either, because you would only reach this section if you'd beaten all 18 of the other bosses, which I'm a little bit surprised I even did that. Hey, that was more diagonal that just happened there. So that it's not a strict left and right, or horizontal and vertical. It can cheat if it wants to. I assume as it's spinning up, it's immortal. So, right there, I've got to take the shot and get lucky before I get hit. So, probably need to put some distance between myself, if I was to guess. With the 2 dodges, maybe, or maybe I just need to be really close and tap the fire as fast as possible. See, there's no like quick fire. Also, take note. Like, see right there, I like the square block gets smaller when I pull back. Watch. Oh, it zooms in. So there's perception here about how much time I actually have. Yeah, I'm not sure when my opportunity is. This thing is like totally invulnerable right now. Maybe pull the arrow back when it lands. Hit it from behind. this is just phase 1. So who knows what phase 2 is gonna be like. Maybe I don't need to wait for it to land to hit it though. Maybe I could take aim and fire. Let's see. Like right there. No, it doesn't seem like it. It seems like it's gonna be right down to some really precise firing mechanics. Like, I don't think it's a perspective thing where if I was at the very top of the box that I could hit it because it was up in the air. I don't think if it was up in the air and I fired right then that would change. And see, almost enough time. But I've got to remember which one is going to go first, which one's going to go second, do 2 dodges, then pull back and fire very, very fast. Hopefully we'll make it to the second section. There we go, got it. Now we're in the second section. But are we permanently in the second section? No, we're not. I don't think we are. Oh, this is increasingly unlikely we're gonna pull this off. If it gave me half a second more. There we go. So we need to find a eye. Here it is. Right there. No, it's that glowing purple eye. So I've got to shoot those things to keep them away from me and avoid those things because everything's a little bit different in that reality. This is really not the right kind of boss, I think, for this game too. This feels much more like a game, some other game. Well, you know what it feels like? It feels like if you were playing Full Metal Alchemist, the video game, which I don't know if there actually such a thing ever existed, but this would make perfect sense, but it doesn't really make a ton of sense for Titan Souls. This is not really a Titan as much as some kind of magical dimension shifting creature with abilities we have not seen any of the other creatures have anything like at all. It's 100% different from what we've seen before. It does seem like it is kind of easy to get through this first section, and if I get really, really lucky in the second section, maybe I'll get it to the third section, and if I get really, really lucky in the third section, I'll get it done. But this is gonna be our last hour, one way or the other. I probably am gonna play this off screen, but I don't know how to do it. Yeah, I don't know how to record this. If I don't get lucky like I did last recording, then maybe I'll just add it to the end of this recording if there's anything to see. I don't think there is going to be too much to see, though. The truth, as far as, like, since this game is only made by 3 people, I don't think we're gonna see a great cutscene or anything. I just don't think there's enough of a budget and skill and time for that. So the thing that the truth does, if you beat it, I think is it just tells you the names of each of the characters when you play the game again. So it permanently changes your experience ever so slightly in the game, and you would probably have to delete the save file in which you beat the truth on to see the old language. I'm getting close, but not close enough. It is tight. Like, I was lined up for that hit, but didn't hit it. So, like the rest of Titan Souls, we just sit here and we just try again. Now, certainly these types of experiences that happen in other games and are by far more frustrating because you usually aren't entering a game knowing it's this difficult. Personally, I knew that this game was going to be difficult all the way through. Partially that is because I watched other people play it. So, like, if I was playing some other style game and then just one of the bosses was really difficult but none of the others were, then I could see myself being considerably more frustrated than what this is doing to me. It tricks me. It tricks me into thinking that it's going to switch around, and it never does. It's always the eye, then the other one. It has to be. Otherwise you wouldn't be able to take aim and hit the eye. But you can also see I'm backsliding here. Quite badly. First couple times we got to the second section. So this fire. So now you see I'm moving, but the things aren't moving. So 99% avoidance is needed there until that eye comes and just hit the eye and move to the third section. It doesn't give us a break at all. Yeah, it just throws you into the next group with like half a second to recoup. And no checkpoint. I really wish it had checkpointed. See, I could see myself spending 3 hours just trying to beat this boss. Is that really what's gonna happen? I don't know. It's just all right back to, do I feel like I am being lucky when I succeed, or do I feel like I am just like, there's the eye, man. I was hoping to get that eye really quickly, but you have to hit the eye kind of head on too, so it's not an easy thing to hit. Come on. See, and that one just comes out of nowhere and tries to get me. They look like Langoliers a little bit from that Stephen King movie book, Eating Time. So roll this way, hit it, no, miss. I feel like I'm getting worse. Yeah, that didn't feel smooth at all. Usually I would have died by now. And yet I'm not doing either. I'm not succeeding nor failing. That's interesting. Turn of events. I suppose you could sit here and do this forever. As long as you keep rolling, it seems like there's no limit there. See, a help system would be so great right now. If it had 3 hearts, so I could get eaten once and then respawn instantly. So, roll here, not fast enough, roll here, not even shooting in the right direction, roll here, fire, missed, roll here, fire, missed. Not putting myself in a good position here. I think I'm on the wrong side is the problem. It's too much gimmick here. If any of the other bosses had required 3 hits or 3 things to do, I don't think I would have ever gotten it. I'm not even sure I'm ever gonna get this. Let's see. So I'm trying to find the eyeball, but just mainly avoid. There the eyeball was, and I came out the other side that I wasn't expecting. See, I don't see how I can hit him though. I think all I can do is avoid the jaws. Well, that was too weak. That was the wrong direction. We have to do this every time. It seems a little unfair. And I guess I need to stay somewhere in the middle here and just see if I can convince the eyeballs to like attack me. Like if I shoot an arrow, I can never get that arrow back. So if I shoot an arrow and miss, then so it's 1 true hit is all I need and all I'm gonna be allowed to make. So hit this, miss, of course. I don't feel like I'm really getting better at this. I suppose maybe after 100 deaths I'll finally become an expert at doing just this section. But is that something I want in video games? I've said that a lot in this game. It's like, do I really want this gameplay style? And I think now that we are at the end, I have to say no, I don't. I'm glad this one game exists as kind of an example of what I don't want in video games. Honestly, it's, every now and then we need to try new things or revisit ideas, but honestly, super hard difficulty. This is the type of games we had when the NES was out, when there was no control, when Atari was putting out games that were literally impossible to beat. This is not what I want in modern gaming, though. I want games to be easy. I always want games to be easy. For me, put a hard mode in there if you want, but don't make that your default playing level. Don't give me this. See, I am now like in this position where I might think about cheating for a game like this and not feel bad at all, because it's not an online game or anything like that, and it would only be to my ruining of the fun of this game, which if I'm not having fun with it anyways, I might as well cheat and see what the ending looks like, if there is any different ending or anything, which there very well may not be any different ending at all. It may just be the same credits we saw before. Yeah, and I wouldn't feel too bad about cheating here. After I put an hour into this, why not? I have a lot of other games to play. I'm not in a bad position where I can't go find free games online that I'd rather play, or something, just one of the many other games I've actually purchased on Steam to play. So why would I want to spend 3 extra hours or playing this game? I've already given it more than 10 for a game that really should have been something closer to a 5-hour game. It's already kind of like in the too long range. Here. We need that eye. Can we find the eye? See, I think the problem with trying to find the eye is it's just gonna fly through and not make itself aware, and all these teeth ones. See, there it is. I got it, and then I died. I got it and I died at the same time. Well, at least you kind of saw the beginning of it. You didn't even get to see the cutscene of it transforming into kind of a giant spider, but you saw me do it. Again, feels 100% luck based that I pulled that off. Probably isn't. It's probably a significant amount of skill there, but it doesn't feel that way to me. Let's see. And see, I got it again, but then I have to hit it and get out of the way of the teeth, because I only have, much like the soul before this, you only have that small amount of time before something around you attacks you to hit it. Sort of like this, but not as bad. So again, I guess I need to keep as much distance away from myself until that eye appears. Oh, darn it. I think the eye is always going to come from the top too. So I need to be careful. Oh, this is no good. These are coming for me. And they just don't seem to stop. Yeah, it's just this wall of them. Yeah, I don't see I'm gonna get that. There we go. So you get the cutscene now. And it's a giant spider along with everything else, and the giant spider does a laser. And that's the third phase of truth. So I assume I'm gonna have to do some major avoidance there. If it was just 2, it would be a lot nicer. 2 would be in line with the other bosses that had 2 things. But to knock it up to that third one, and we were full into that third phase too, and it isn't gonna do anything. Now how would I cheat here? I would assume there's probably a no damage way you could do something to this. Maybe if there was some codes built into the game, that would be nice. If you could just say, just don't give me any damage and let me do the actions without having to worry about dying. That's about all I think you could do for a game like this. I doubt they even programmed it in such a way to think of a life meter. So I doubt that would work as a way of cheating. No. I tried to cross over there to get to the eye, and it didn't help. Oh, I'm so close and don't want to be close. Let's see, I've gone full circle here. Now. The way this is. There was the eye. I missed it. I don't feel like I can hit these though. And there was the eye, and I couldn't take the shot. I don't think I can do anything here. I think I'm dead. Feels like the game might even be getting a little chunky with all the characters on the screen. Yeah. It's just adding more and more. I cannot get away from this. This is an interesting turn of events. See if I could just maybe overwhelm it. That would be a cool way to beat the boss too, is just continue running until the massive amount of them causes the boss to die. But that's not fair. See if I could get on the back side of this ring. Maybe that would help a little bit. Come on, where are you, eyeball? If you came out right now, I think I could hit you. I think I could hit you if you would come out. I don't even know where the eyeball is though. Has it decided to stop coming out? Like, see, it just really fast ran there. Irritating. So you can see there's also kind of a limited amount of time you can succeed in that phase before you just become overwhelmed. And then I have to do this again. And get that right. And how can you not say this is frustrating? I mean, it has to be frustrating at this point, right? You're just doing the same thing over and over again. It takes a lot of patience to get lucky. And see, this is where I like puzzle games and such too. Is like, if I had spent 11 hours on a puzzle game, like The Witness, there's a game that I spent more than 11 hours on, and I went a lot longer in that game before I started getting frustrated with it. And I'm still not super frustrated with this, just because I prepared myself and knew it was going to be a puzzle, and I knew there was a good chance I was not going to beat this boss. There was a good chance I wasn't going to beat all the bosses. I really thought this might be a very odd series in which just nothing was ever done. I was like, okay, well, I'll just never put it out and hide my shame that way. But I am surprised that we made it as far as we have. We've really beaten the game. This is just an extra thing for the secret ending. It's not like I'm trying to get achievements on this game, because those are even crazier tasks. That this whole game is like no difficulty balancing, and it's made by somebody designing it to be cruel and impossible for only for a large portion of the players to succeed. This is not your standard kids game. This is a expert gamers type of game. Let's see. I need more space. I don't get how am I supposed to do this though. Because the eye seems to love to appear right in the wrong place, so that even if I do hit it, I'll have to maneuver myself in such a weird way. Like, there's the eye. There we go. Nope, give me that back. Now. So we are now all about avoiding this. So the laser beam is what we're trying to hit here. And so he's gonna get on the ground, and when he starts getting on the ground for 3 hits, that's when we take our target. That right there was my opportunity. I have to pull back and fire right then. And the laser's not even hitting his own guys, irritatingly. If it hit the other guys, that would help me a little bit, clear the board a little. But we're back here. I guess you could make an interesting question. Can you violate copyright blatantly if they had copyrighted this theme, which I don't think you probably could as an artistic style from Full Metal Alchemist? Can you make a game, put a bunch of other elements in it, 18 other bosses, and then just blatantly violate copyright on the final boss? No, but like I said, I doubt this is copyrightable, this concept. It certainly would only get them in trouble if they said, no, we've never seen that, we have no idea where that came from, we created that in a vacuum, and any allegations otherwise are purely false. I mean, they need to come out straight and say, yes, we were inspired by Full Metal Alchemist, and I'm sure they would. It'd be a ridiculous argument to say they weren't. And I'm sure Full Metal Alchemist was inspired by some other artist somewhere. So, all art is theft when you eventually look at it in enough detail. Come on, eyeball, come out early. Give me... See, and there was 2 eyeballs right there. If it just checkpointed me to that 3rd section, I think I could beat this guy in the hour that I had allotted for this. It's the repetitive having to become an expert at this 1st and 2nd section that's the problem. Because I've only like gotten 2 shots off as far as the final section, and I've probably only got 5 or 6 shots off at the eye itself here in this 2nd section. Nope, can't get the arrow back. So now we're in this position where I can't retrieve the arrow. Where is it? Maybe I don't need to retrieve the arrow. Maybe I have it. How did I get it back? That doesn't make sense. Is it possible that in this area the arrow is simply just always with me? Give me a clean shot, eyeball. See, it's just zooming through though. So I need... No, the arrow is somewhere because I just tried to get it and it's gone. Wherever the arrow went, it was far, far off the screen. Maybe you can't miss. Maybe you literally can't miss at all because they eat your arrow or something. And I've just not noticed that section. You can miss here, certainly. And so you can pull the arrow back at that point. So I'm trying to stay in the middle here. But I don't think the middle leaves enough room. I think I do have to run it around in circles. I think I'm gonna find a very different truth than what the game wants me to find playing this boss. But I'll save that for the wrap up. We've been going 40 minutes now. I'm surprised we even saw the final boss. I mean, we are in the realm. I mean, it is not an insane way of thinking that I could get really lucky and beat this. Because we've made it at least to the 3rd boss. If we hadn't made it to the 3rd boss even past this, or if we hadn't even made it past the 1st boss, then I would feel a lot more confident about just giving up. But the fact that we made it and we're really, really close. I don't know. So I'm gonna have to make decisions, and I think what I've decided to do is I'm gonna wrap up this recording. If I play, I'm gonna play off screen and have a separate recording of that, and if I manage to beat this, I will kind of edit it into the end of it so that we can see that. And I think that's the best I can do. And so if this recording just ends and there's no other things, I'm sorry, but that just means I gave up and I have lost any interest of ever beating this. And it may be quite a long time. I may like play this game months and months after when I'm actually recording this and get the footage of beating the final boss and then just put it in there. Well, after a certain point, I have to make the decision to upload this series. So once I decide I am going to upload the series, that will be the end of it. So if you want to see the truth beaten, you could almost certainly, even right now, open a second YouTube window in a browser, type in Titan Souls Truth Beaten, see it done in like 5 minutes, and I will still be working on it. If you wanted a speed run, then that's not what this channel is about anyway, so more about criticizing the game. Obviously, I have to be a little critical of this boss, since definitely there's people that won't be able to beat this. One of those 3 bosses, one of the 3 phases would become problematic for some players. I mean, right now the 3rd phase is obviously problematic for me because I'm not beating it. But I feel like I'm so close too. I do want to just keep on trying. Just keep on trying, but I've got other videos to make. Other things to do that aren't even related to making YouTube videos. So how much time can I really commit to doing this over and over again? If I can't get it done in an hour, can I get it done in 2? Can I get it done in 3? I think by the time I was somewhere around the 4th or 5th hour of just fighting this boss, at that level, I think I'd be ready to give up. I'm not gonna put another 11 hours into this game just fighting the final boss. That would be ridiculous. And with every attempt, my fingers go more numb. See, if these were 3 separate bosses, too, that would be, like, fine. If these were in the 18 bosses that we had to beat up to this point. So I'm just gonna get this. Now I've lost my arrow. Yep. You see the arrow is there, so you can miss. It's just, if you do, you're pretty much guaranteeing a loss. The problem is the little teardrop jaw things. If they weren't in that 3rd section, I could take out the spider. I'm certain of it. But the fact that they start spawning again is Not what I want. Come on, eyeball. Not enough force there. You really have to shoot it from dead on. It has to be coming towards you. It moves too fast otherwise. Well, on the list of like things I'm not gonna do on this game, it is a really tall list. It is quite a lot. It's like, I'm not gonna play it in Iron Man mode, I'm not gonna play it in hardcore mode, I'm not gonna play it in no roll mode. How would you even do that? I don't even know. I have no clue how you would be able to dodge anything without in no roll mode. I wish this guy was in no roll mode, then he wouldn't roll at me. But I don't think this game came out for consoles. Honestly, I don't think it should be on consoles. Even though it's highly recommended to be played on a with a controller, and I would agree with that, it's too hard. I kind of think consoles are more family friendly and kid friendly. A game like this, I think, shouldn't pass a level of certification for consoles simply for being too difficult. When some game testers, I mean, I imagine some of the game testers had severe difficulties with this game. And this is also part of the problem of producing your game. They didn't have any game testers, I can tell you that. With 3 people on your team, you're gonna have like 3 friends test it, and then the programmers who know every single trick because they made the game. But even in big production of games, it's real easy after 9 months of playing a game every day to become this super expert at playing your game that puts you so far and so out of the loop as far as what a real person who hasn't been playing your game and doesn't know all the secrets is going to experience. Like, how many times have I missed this? Really? Come on. Feels like after so many, you should just be bumped forward. And yeah, a big budget game like this, so much game testing would happen that they would totally make it so that you could succeed. And usually that's a bad thing if they make the game too easy, but also it's a lot of times a good thing, and we don't recognize that as video game players. It's like somebody came in here and this was like way harder in the game in most games. Most games probably do start off in some places way more difficult than what they end up as, and we should be appreciative of that and try to look for that as much as we can as video game players, to say, yeah, this, if there wasn't that big arrow pointing us in the direction we were supposed to go, we would have probably wandered around for an extra 30 minutes. Of course, then sometimes if even one game tester has even a minute worth of difficulty, they'll dumb down the intent and the artistic intent of the game so much. Like, the eye's not open yet. Nope, I'm dead. I tried to go for a shot, but obviously right there at the beginning is not the time to go for a shot. You've gotta find your opportunity later on. So there's a amount of time you have to survive. I don't know if I'm even gonna bother to try to get this done, really. Now that I'm starting to think about the 11 hours I've spent on this, I think it would be more appropriate just to say phooey to it. We have 10 more minutes, we'll keep trying, but yeah. I think this is probably where it's gonna end. I'll never know the truth. The truth for me is this game's too hard. This game is claiming to lack elements because it wants pure gameplay experience, but in reality it's lacking elements that should be in it. It should have a health system. It should have a health system. Health and help. Two different things. It shouldn't be this difficult. It should have been game tested with more people. We made it to the end in 11 hours, but this is a 5-hour game at most. Should be a little bit cheaper. I harping on that because that really was a factor too. It's like I wanted to play this game probably 4 months before I purchased this game, simply because of cost, and that's not right. When you make your game for sale, you need to do the marketing research and see what will an average player really pay for this, and if your game loses its initial sales because you priced it too much, that hurts your ranking in the sales leaderboards. It hurts you being recommended as a game in Steam, probably. So you can easily hurt yourself by going twice as expensive. The Witness was also very much too expensive of a game for what it was. Even though it was a big 3D world, it really was just a puzzle game, and would have sold better and come off better if it was a $15 game instead of the full $60 I think it charged, which is rather high. You get the number of hours in it simply because the puzzles are difficult in the same way as this game. You get a lot of hours out of this simply because the bosses are difficult, but if you get frustrated and give up, I could see people playing less than 2 hours of this and just getting a refund on Steam. Easily. They're not even reaching anywhere close to this boss and getting frustrated and giving up. And there's nothing else in this game to keep you interested in it. And it really doesn't feel like we're gonna get lucky. And see, I bet months and months from now I will come back and decide to play this when I have like an itch to play it, and I'll get Defeat the Truth. I'm gonna instantly go look at the final ending and see if there's anything really worth looking at. And I'd recommend, if I don't beat this boss, that you do the same. Just go look on YouTube something for Titan Souls True Ending, it'll be called. Even like the visual novels, which are incredibly long, also have that true ending element to them, which then makes them incredibly longer if you're trying to play them for a specific ending, or usually they have multiple endings on top of it. There we go. We made one more foray into the second phase. Here we go, we made it to the third phase. So if I just try to stay away from this guy, There. Like, if I had aimed right there, I think I may have gotten that. 5 more minutes is all we have. In the next 5 minutes, will I get all the way back to that and win? It's so much of just get lucky that one time. It's like, get lucky the one time here to hit this guy, get lucky the one time in the second phase to hit the other guy, and then get lucky the third time, and then that would be the end of it. I don't even know what you could really do here. The real ending to the story is we figured out something that you probably could have figured out really early in the game, that the Titans were probably people that had fought Titans before and got turned into monsters themselves. So war never changes, basically. Is the thing. It's like violence is no solution. It's a very basic statement. It would only make a ridiculous amount of sense if no, it'd make no sense. It would be ridiculous if after beating this boss it then went to text or dialogue spoken explaining the whole meaning of this game. It would just be this long info dump that would be pointless. So last time here, I'll do one more last time and then we're done. Next death, I want to exit out to the menu. Let's just look at it and see what we've done. And then we'll load back into and see where it puts us. I didn't even roll that time and I somehow dodged it. Come on. And certainly if I wasn't talking while doing this, my focus would be a little bit better. Maybe that would make the small amount of difference. That was certainly the issue. That was certainly the issue with a lot of the bosses. So my coverage of this, I certainly am going to ask for feedback here. It's like, what is your feeling as far as, like, hey look, when I pause it, it doesn't even stop. Interesting. So you can't even get help there. So if I go here and change the language to this, and then we reset, let's see if it changes the language here. No, it still says truth. So acid nerve, of course, and all that logo digital devolver wouldn't translate. But everything else translates. Yeah, no reason for that to be that way though. Go back to English. So 675 deaths. It feels like I've gotten 7 deaths there, and I put another hour into it. When we come back in here, it's puts us right here. And then the door opens and we can go right back in here. The only other thing we could do is run back to the very beginning where we started. We'll go ahead and do that. This game is problematic. It really is. I kind of feel like I want to say it's a good game, but in my heart of hearts, I say it's not. It's too difficult. The elements are here that this would work. If somebody tried to make the same game with a health system, had some maybe items you could purchase, maybe some upgrades you could get, all of the elements that you'd see in like a Zelda game. We haven't had a top-down Legend of Zelda game in a very, very long time. And that's something 3 programmers could probably make. Uh, if there were enemies around here that you could grind XP on, if there was more moves you could do, if there was anything that would help me at all to beat that final boss and uh, have a happy and successful ending to the series and to playing this game, uh, that would all be to the benefit of this game. Their argument that this is just supposed to be a one life, one arrow, one hit to kill the bosses thing is not true. Dark Souls is incredibly difficult, but only in very rare situations where you have to will you be able to beat a Dark Souls boss in one hit. Everybody else has to roll around and dodge blows and do a lot of attacks and take down a health bar. The, uh, so I think they're missing something from the Dark Souls mentality. Again, I'd say you get up to this boss right here in the demo for free. And that might be what your best bet is to do, is just get the demo, play it every now and then, and be done with it. Because there's nothing, it's just too difficult, really. Or be warned, I had a much better time knowing that this was going to be a fast-paced thing. See, and since I'm holding the bumps down, I guess that would be the run. Maybe that's why I'm not succeeding as much, as because I'm not using the run button. It's hard to tell. And see, you just start here. No explanation, nothing. You're just here and they train you up to fight Titans and you defeat all the Titans except for the truth, in my case. Too difficult, too long. Too long because it's too difficult. I don't think I'm gonna play this game anymore, so sorry. I think I'm just gonna go watch the ending of The Truth, and I would recommend you just search it on Google too. I don't think it's worth spending another hour getting to 13 hours and 38 minutes and 11 seconds. I'm just not interested in it. This game has failed to hold my attention uh, to that point. It mostly held my attention this way. So I want to say it's a bad game. I kind of enjoyed the experience, so maybe I'll just end it saying it's a mediocre game with a lot of promise but a lot of flaws. I'd like to see a Titan Souls 2. I'd like to see if they could make it easier and fix some things. And I would definitely check out the demo at least of Titan Souls 2. And I think they could make 18 more Titans easily. Anywho, that's where we're ending this series. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment if you want to, and watch every second of my videos, because all of that helps me out, tells YouTube that my videos are worth watching. If you want to support me even further than that, you can click on my name Rydo. That'll get you to my main YouTube page. On the right is a blue button that says support this channel. You can click that and make a donation. Also on my main YouTube page is a playlist tab. You can click that and see a playlist for every other game I've covered. Now, I finish almost all games to the end. I don't 100% them. There are even a couple of games where I just rage quitted before I even finished it. I think this one I would call a finished game. Yeah, we were really, really close. If I bothered to put another 3 hours into the game, I would beat the truth, almost certainly. Particularly if I'm not talking and distracting myself during the process. But it's not worth it. There's nothing the game could give me that would make it worth it. There's things the game should have given me at the beginning, like an easier mode, but it's only going to give me more difficult things for beating the game. That's what we saw. We got Iron Man no roll mode and hard mode, and then I'm like, let's see for a second. New game and hard mode, the real challenge, and you only get one life and no rolls. And I think you could probably toggle all of these. Can't roll. Well, apparently you can't do hard mode, and you can do Iron Man and no rolls, or you can do hard mode, no rolls. So let's see. Let's just start on hard mode and see what happens. Notice there's a purple hair here, and then the soul gets taken out at the beginning. And when we fought the soul, we were fighting a body of a purple haired person, but our hair, I don't think, was purple. Like right now, it's not purple, it's brown. So what we just saw there is not the is not me. So already it feels like I'm moving faster and I have more ability. So can I run against... Can I go against this guy? Yes, I can. Good. And they stopped doing the whole eyeball thing too. So you can see the truth hasn't been beaten because it still is the old dialogue. That guy didn't feel like he was moving much faster. Let's try somebody different. Like this gelatinous glob. I cannot believe I survived that. It doesn't feel like that's moving anymore. I need somebody that's a real basic character to beat. Let's try this one. Maybe he's moving a little bit faster. Even these first four, though, are not super easy. They needed probably to be a little bit more difficult, if all's gonna be said and done. So unless hard mode means that I have to hit that guy twice in the eye, it seems like it's only maybe slightly faster. Well, I don't think I'm gonna even bother to figure out any further. It doesn't seem like it's extremely harder. Maybe slightly harder. And we of course could do like an Iron Man mode, no rolls mode. Let's see what happens when we do that. So, no rolls also seems like no running. So, yeah, this in particular, the no rolling thing. Look, the prompt is gone. You can't roll or run. So that's hugely different. You would have to be an expert at the game at that point. It seems fairly what's the word to say? Like, it might be faster on pulling back your arrow a little bit to accommodate it. I imagine there's a few like hidden internal numbers, because like a tap here didn't used to shoot an arrow. It used to be closer to that before it would fire an arrow. So it feels like a twice the speed of a draw here. See, and so you just have to constantly roll here. What happens when we die? When we die, we come right back here. So I imagine what that means is you've got to start the whole game over. At least it's doing you a favor. By restarting you. So that's what no rolls in Iron Man mode would be like. Yeah, I guess I just have to leave it at a mediocre game. I don't think there's much more to say. I was wrapping up in there. There's lots of playlists. Also, I won't do the whole like, share, subscribe, click the buttons to support me, check out my playlist stuff. I've already said all of that, and then I got distracted. The last thing, though, is down below in the description box. There are links to Facebook, Twitter, Tumblr, Google+. You can also friend me on Steam and Battle.net. So friend and follow me on all of those services, because that helps me with those services, and it lets you know when my newest videos are available. I also want to specifically ask about this weird recording way I've done this recording of this series. I could have certainly had this series go on a lot longer and had footage of me beat bosses. Let me know if you thought it was acceptable for me to do those things off screen. I swear it was me doing all of the game. I didn't hand the controller over to somebody else. If I could do that, I'd frankly just tell you and do it immediately. It wouldn't have been a bad idea if I had somebody like that to have one person talk about the gameplay while the other person just isolated in a sound booth played the game. But let me know how you feel about that, not actually seeing us beat the bosses. It's not like you really saw any cutscenes for beating the bosses other than the spinning around and collecting souls, and it helped keep the series shorter, and I think that's the better option, but it is certainly weird. That's it though, we're just dragging on at this point, so thank you for watching this series, thank you for going through it with me. And have a good evening. Bye.